Very interesting table. Best missing of Hurricane Milton. So it appears here, and best meeting we said Hurricane and Milton. More in this table, you have the word Hurricane in red and Milton purple, as you saw. And then what we have more. Amazingly, it appears exactly in the story of the splitting of the Red Sea, Yam Suf. And the description there fits also the hurricane. By Yeshua Maim, the water came over Egypt and the chariots and horsemen, mean on the people riding on horses, whatever it is, yeah. This is a parasha, and Richbo, the chariots was at that time. So what more you have here? You have here the first thing, the Arsot Habrit, it is in the United States. Ruach Elokim, or winds of God, yeah, or very strong winds. Then what more you have here about disaster, a great disaster definitely. And then the most important thing, Shmor Mitzvotav v'Torata, because all these things just now we see in the prophecy of Stephania about such events. So here is it in Shmor Mitzvotav v'Torata, keep my mitzvahs and my Torah, and look, I gave you the Shabbos. So interesting table, as we said, best meeting of Oregon and Milton. Could have been one sentence, definitely. In the state, בארצות הברית, a disaster. All of it really appears in one book, Exodus, in a few chapters, which is also interesting, definitely. So let us see now what the prophet Zephaniah, chapter 3, speaks about such events. So what's the prophet Zephaniah said? I wiped out nations, their corners, towers are desolate. This is definitely the Twin Towers. I turned their thoroughfares into ruins, with none passing by. Their towns lie well, with nobody around, without inhabitants. Then he carries on and said, and I thought that she would fear me, would learn a lesson, and that the punishment I brought on them would not be lost on her. Instead, all the more eagerly they have practiced corruption in all their deeds. But wait for me, says God, for the day when I rise as an accuser, when I decide to gather nations, to bring kingdoms together, to pour out my indignation on them, all my blazing anger, indeed by the fire of my passion. Indeed by the fire of my passion, all the earth shall be consumed. For then I will make the people pure of speech, some say the Holy Tongue, so that they all invoke God by name and render service with one accord. So this was really the idea of such things happening, hurricanes, earthquakes, everything the prophet spoke about. And this is what we see here, Hurricane Milton, and exactly the idea that all these terrible things, disaster, has a purpose to keep our mitzvot and Torah, and for Jews to keep the Shabbos. So it is interesting, really, best meeting of Hurricane Milton, בארצות הברית, United States, a great disaster, אסון, and a phenomena when the water came over the people, this time it was a chariot, a horsemen, people were riding horses. This is a story with the Egyptian, which chased the Jewish people. So, very interesting and significant to our time, and as you saw, really what Prophet Zephaniah said about such events, it is interesting that in the end is a verse 8 which describes Gog and Magog, when God said, I waited for you to repent, you did not, so I bring up upon your troubles, and Gog and Magog, and then it's written that the whole world will realize the greatness of the pure language, the holy tongue. So amazing, this is a phenomenon now also that the holy tongue becomes more and more known to the world. So, as you said, interesting and relevant table to our days.